Hi, single moms and dads. My name is Toby, and I'm also a single parent of the little guy you saw in my intro there. And what I've decided to do each week is just spend a few minutes with you sharing experiences that I've had as a single parent, the ups and downs, the successes and the failures, things that have kind of brought me to where I am right now, in just an effort to bring us together as a community of single parents, whether you are male or female, black, white, because we are more. And I want us to think of ourselves as more and not as the statistic that oftentimes society assigns to us. So I'll be answering questions if anyone has them, or just giving scenarios or experiences, and hopefully to bring us together as a community so that we can share and help each other progress and move forward with our families so that we can teach our children again that we are more. So you'll get to see me each week answering some questions. I'd love for you to become involved, to rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel so that we can grow and share our experiences together. So this is my first video, so pardon me if I'm a little nervous or kind of looking the wrong way or lopsided or something. I'm trying to get this all together based on my own research on how to do videos, and I'm just doing this in my living room. So again, bear with me as I get the production value probably a little better each time that we move along. So today I decided that I would just kind of share a little bit of, what I have done or not done as a single parent that I think might be relevant. And just to start, my son's an adult now. He lives on his own. I hope one day that he is married and has a family, and or maybe not. Maybe he'll still have a family and go the route that I did as a single parent. But either way, I'm hoping that some of the experiences that we've shared together will help color his worldview and how he feels about parenting, and some of the good things that we've experienced together, as well as some of the bad things that we've experienced together, will help him to be a better parent. Not that I was a bad parent, but with each generation, we want to grow and learn and do a little bit better than what was happening in the previous generation. So I'll just kind of start out with one of the basic things that I experienced raising a male, and most of my comments probably will be centered towards raising a son, but I think they're universal and can be applied to girls also. But one of the things that was kind of a common theme for me in our household with me raising a son is that he was a male in the house, but not the man of the house. And that was something that I started early on with him, probably when he was, maybe 2 or 3, maybe closer to 4, when he first started realizing that he was a male, and that was different sensibilities that he would have, and me being a single woman there raising him, knowing that one day he would be bigger than me and stronger than me and probably have more of a male sensibility about how he saw the world. So I know that a lot of times we do say our men are little men of the house, but for me, I always was very strong in the fact that he was not the man of the house. Not that I wanted to hurt his masculinity or make him feel overpowered by a woman, but I didn't want him to think that he had any authority over me and the decisions that I was making and how I would run my household. And so that was something I was very clear with him about early on, that he was a male in the house, but he was not the male in the house, that I was the ultimate authority about what he could or could not do, that my rules were to be followed above all others, and that he had to adhere to that. And sometimes that did cause a few obstacles for us. If he had other family members or even my own mom that will come to him and say, hey, I want you to do this or that, or I'm going to take you here or there, he had to know that he had to ask me first. And that caused a couple of arguments with my mom because she would say, well, I'm the grandmother. And I would have to explain to her that I'm the final authority and he has to respect that. If he starts out thinking that he can get answers and listen to multiple people, then that diminishes my authority over him and with things that I want us to do and how I want us to progress as a family. So if it was a movie that he wanted to go to that maybe was something that I thought was a little too risque for him to see, then he had to come to me and ask my permission to go to that movie. He couldn't just go with the other kids because their parents let them go, because maybe it was something that I didn't think was appropriate for him. So those types of decisions are what I mean that he did not decide for himself, and I did not let other people decide for him. He had to come to me to ask my permission. 9 times out of 10, I would give it because, he wasn't asking for anything out of the ordinary, but he still knew that he had to ask me. And I remember one incident very clearly. I was working 3 jobs. And he was older. He was a latchkey kid. And on a Saturday morning, I would get up and go to my second and third job. And so I might be gone from like 7 to 2 o'clock. And if it was snowy outside and he wasn't going anywhere, I would just say, hey, just relax in your room, read, watch TV, play video games or whatever. I've left food already cooked. This is what you can eat. So I came home from work one day, and he was gone. And at that time, we didn't have cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone. And so he was gone and I couldn't find him. And called my mom. She wasn't there. So I figured there was a very good chance that they were together. So a couple of hours later, they come pulling up in the driveway and I walk outside and I was like, told my son, why did you leave? And so, well, Genki came to pick me up and we went for breakfast and then, we went to the mall. And I said, right, but you didn't call me. You know the rules. You were supposed to call me first before you left the house with anyone. I don't care. And so he went in the house and I told my mom, you can't do that. You can't just come in and pick him up knowing that he has rules at home and that he has to abide by those rules, but you come in and say, I'm the grandmother and I can supersede or or throw out those rules. He has to learn that there are rules and there are consequences to his actions. So needless to say, she was not pleased. He was grounded for a week. And if he had called me, of course, I would have let him go. And he was out with her a week after his punishment. They were together all the time. But it was more of a lesson for him as opposed to her, because she knew what I was doing, is that, he has to understand that when there are rules and you break them, there are consequences to you doing that you don't make these decisions on your own, that the rules. You're to stay at home. If something comes up, you call me, and they know it at my job that you might call me. So there would be no issue with me not being able to talk to her on the phone. You just don't up and leave and I come home and there's no notes, there's nothing happening. So those were things that would come up that I would have to make sure that everyone, including him and other people around him, knew that I was the final authority in his life and what he was doing. And I think it worked out. And now it's so funny because he's very into cause and effect and consequences. And he manages the wireless store that he works in. And that's the one thing he talks to me about is his employees and them not understanding cause and effect and how their behaviors or actions affect the morale of his site and the way things function in customers. So I don't remind him of these experiences that we had. I like to, think that he's figured this out on his own, but it kind of came from the foundation that he had from when he was younger, that no matter what's happening, there's going to be some result, good or bad. There's going to be some consequence to what you do. So that's my first video for today. Again, I'm going to keep working on it. I know you guys might have some comments and criticism for me. If you do, that's fine. I'm going to take it all in the good naturedness that it will be received. But if you do have comments, please leave them below and I'll talk about them on my video next week. If you like what I have to say or you think you might be interested in hearing more, please subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. And remember, we are more. Thank you.